And hello again, Rando fans. We are back. We are kicking off week 4 of the League Season 4, and it is Spoiler Insanity Week. This is pilot spoilers, so this should be a fun mode. I am Cool Papa Bell 2282 commentating for you today, and we have a matchup between the spoilers and Oops, da war es auch nicht. So, for those of you who have not seen the pilot spoiler mode before, the way this works is 2 runners from a team are working together. One person will actually be doing the running during the race, whereas the second will have access to the spoiler log and will be telling the runner where to go. So you have your pilot alongside you who has complete information about the seed, but they just have to find it all in a very short amount of time. Since spoiler seeds have a tendency to go very quickly, that means you do not have much time to actually tell your runner where to go, and we'll be seeing a lot of low percent execution on the runner side, since they will not be going out of their way to pick up a lot of extra hearts, armor, that sort of thing. They will just be rushing straight to where the items are. So on the one hand, this is just, the classic rando, just go where the items are 5-head. You actually get to do that, but that means you skip over lots of heart pieces along the way. So in the background here, we have Divasigns is going to be piloting Death King, whereas Shady Force will be piloted by Zelga Disson. So we should be getting started in just a second. And with the piloted spoiler races, there is absolutely no log study time beforehand. In a solo spoiler race, you have time to look things up for a bit before we get started, but the pilot gets the spoiler log just as soon as the runners start running, so it is a little bit frantic at the beginning of things. We are off. Both runners starting in Sanctuary. Gonna get a fairy in a bottle. Not a bad way to start. And we'll see. So it looks like Death King is going to go do a Houlihan. This is a nice way to give your pilot a way to read through the log a little bit and also pick up some rupees, which are very often at a premium early on in a spoiler seed. Ooh, very nice. Bushcrab has 8 bombs, so Shady will have plenty of bombs going into Kakariko. Shady doing another very reasonable option, which is just run toward Kakariko, because odds are there's still going to be something good there, and your pilot can figure that out in the meantime. So we saw there Shady headed into Lost Woods, and then was told, nope, nothing there, and we'll just head down to the village. So yeah, question in chat about what are you looking for first in Spoiler Key Sanity. It sort of depends on the runner. Some people will look for Boots and Flute early on to try and grab those. Some people will look for something they can tell their runner to just sort of do. Like if you can get Bow and the Eastern Palace Big Key early on and you just say, go clear Eastern while I figure some things out. That's also an option. But also a lot of times runners will just sort of look for density, like we go to Kakariko at near the beginning of most regular seeds. You can do that in a spoiler seed as well. Just go clear out as much as possible from Kak, and then kind of figure things out from there. So that seems to be the Shady Zelga approach here, which is just run to Kak, we'll pick up whatever's there, and then see where we go next after that. So we did get a sword and a few keys, but no other items just yet. And looks like we're going to take that sword directly up to Hyrule Castle, see what we can find there. Also, shoutouts to our sprite artists. I was not expecting to commentate a duel between Deadpool and Clippy today, but here we are. Oh, that's a good sign. Shady Force grabbing a Castle Tower small key. Oh, that was the Thieves Town Big in the Tavern. That's one that's very nice to find early on. I'm speaking mostly from the pilot perspective, by the way, because I've done a fair bit of piloting in previous seasons of the League. But that's one where you can say, okay, you've got the Thieves Town Big Key, you've got a sword, just go beat Thieves Town while I Google a bunch of stuff, or Control F a bunch of stuff in the spoiler log. So definitely a good find early. So Death King going to be cleaning up Kakariko as Shady headed over to Saha's closet. And we have a Master Sword, a lamp, and one Castle Tower small key already. That is a little suspicious. I see another comment in chat about vanilla Castle Tower small keys. That is in a very specific mode. That's in faux AD keys or FAD keys. So it's not, sort of all dungeons key sanity, but where you don't have to go on a Castle Tower small key hunt. Oh, and that other Castle Tower small key was in the Lost Woods that Shady Force did not go all the way to. Maybe that means we just need one to get to the Dark Maze in Aga Tower. Maybe we don't have to climb the whole thing. I guess we'll find out. Another big key for Misery Mire. Yeah, we're seeing that the keys are not showing up on the tracker. Not sure what that is. We'll see if we can get that worked out in the background. But Shady Force is going deep into Eastern Palace. Well, unfortunately, spawned the Stalfos a little bit off from the optimal method. From the optimal method there. Wow, and we're going all the way to the big key chest from the looks of things. So yes, as a reminder, this is pilot spoiler mode, so both of these runners have a teammate in their ear telling them which chests to pick up and which chests to skip over, so there will be a lot of things that we just walk right past. So we'll see what we've got in this big key chest that is, ooh, a flute. It's the sort of thing that you're definitely looking for early in, well, any seed, but particularly in a spoiler seed, since you can just run straight to the flute and get that activated right away. We'll see if Shady and Zelga go for that second Castle Tower small key in the woods while they're in the area. That would be pretty telling, and yes, Shady is headed in that direction. Or, nope, changed his mind again. So Death King, following in Shady's footsteps, going to also grab that flute. And now, finally, Shady is headed up to the Lost Woods. And we'll see if we are headed straight to Castle Tower. Looks like we are. So it looks like Death King is going to pick up a little bit of time by not taking that extra trip to the castle to get the lamp before going into Eastern. Did just do that trip to the Eastern Palace Big Key Chest in the dark, which is a little tricky, but gets much easier if you have a sword. Ooh, having just a bit of trouble with the trying to hit the switch under those anti-fairies. So we'll have to go ahead and clear out these enemies to be able to open up this chest. Oh, that's so unlucky. Takes a damage from that anti-fairy. Oh, but we do have that fairy in a bottle, so we'll be able to still get this flute out of that chest. Oh, okay. Just casual fire rod in Aga Tower. And so, yeah, both teams are looking to spend minimal amount of time in the light world. That's a little bit rare for spoiler seeds, that there's not a whole lot to be done, but pretty much the only other stuff we have available would be South Shore. There's a little bit to do up on the mountain, but it just feels like whatever we're looking for is on the far side of Aga. So that might be Moon Pearl on the pyramid, or potentially something that's going to unlock more stuff to do up on the mountain, like maybe Hookshot on pyramid leading to Moon Pearl, something along those lines. We'll see. So Death King will be able to grab the other Castle Tower Small and the lamp on the way into the tower. And so we see Death King has the advantage of a whole bunch of rupees, which will come in handy for potentially Pod or Zora or other sorts of things, but just a couple minutes behind getting to this Aga Tower climb as Shady Force is heading into the Aga fight. Right as Death King is starting the climb. Death King giving us another look at this handy strat. When you don't have any better weaponry, you just entice those guards to get very close to you, and you can finish them both off with a double spin. I believe that was a total of 3 blue balls from Aga. Not too bad. Oh, there it is. So we had to do Aga to get the hookshot to get access to more of Death Mountain to get our Dark World access. It's amazing how often Sahabot pulls out the ridiculous logic for spoiler seeds. So it looks like we do have some cleanup to do in the light world still, but both teams wanting to get to that flute as early as possible to make this South Shore trip a little bit faster. So a quick stun of that Octorok as well, so just 5 rupees for the stun price. Yeah, that Aga trip would not be one that you would make lightly without the Moon Pearl if you didn't have the spoiler log, but the thing about Key Sanity always is when you find both Aga Tower keys early on, you get extremely suspicious, so we'll see what that hookshot leads to over on East Death Mountain. So there's Mirror, and we do have Flute already. There's still room in this seed for Myths to a Moon Pearl in Checkerboard Cave. That's always good times. That mirror might also lead us up to Tower of Hera, I guess. And why not a quick little jog through Spiral Cave? Ooh. Deadpool getting dead rocked there. Oh, it takes a death. A little unfortunate, but with Flute, that's not too bad. We'll just have to fly back up to the mountaintop. Okay, Mitts in Spiral Cave. We are fluting to the Mire area. Oh my goodness, what a ridiculous seed this is. And we've barely gotten started. Alright, so it looks like not quite checkerboard, but maybe here in desert for that Moon Pearl. Alright, there we go. now, 5 minutes after beating Aga, we have actual Dark World access. And a conveniently placed heart container next to that pod small key. So now that the world is a bit more open, let's see where Shady is going to go. Looks like we're going to drop into back of escape. For just the pod big key, so we're up to 3 pod smalls and the pod big as well. Ooh, here we go. This is where spoiler seeds get interesting. We are going to fake flipper into Ice Palace, the classic 5-heart green male Ice Palace. We are pretty well equipped for speed, at least. We've got the red cane, so we can be doing Icebreaker through here, but not nearly as much health as you would probably like to have safety-wise. But the fact that Ice Palace is a pendant means we won't necessarily have to beat it. We might just be dipping in for an item or two. Well, we'll just grab a bow there. And we're still going, so with 1 small key coming in, we will be able to get out of the right side if we need to. Or just grab $50 where it's convenient. And so some divergence now from our 2 teams. Looks like Death King is going to head back up to Tower of Hera. Be a pretty quick clear of this dungeon with Hookshot and Harapot. Oh, and a Tempered Sword. That's very nice. Death King a little low on health, though, so we'll only have 1 shot at this Harapot. Gets that very nicely, as yes, it looks like Shady Force is just grabbing that bow to open up some things to do in Palace of Darkness. And a very quick Moldorm fight there. Death King will get our first crystal of the race. Gotta say, 22 minutes feels a little bit late for the first crystal in a spoiler mode, but it depends on how much running around the overworld you have to do before dipping into a completable dungeon. So yeah, Shady going into pod with no hammer, which really does make me suspect the hammer is just going to be here, or something in here blocks the hammer, so could be either one of those. So there's Ether, which we need for Misery Mire. Shoutouts, by the way, to our tracker, Scott G, who does have access to the spoiler log as well. So that's how we got information about crystals and pendants, since our runners were definitely not going to actually be checking their map, since they have all that info in the spoiler log. And it's maybe a little unfortunate on Tavares auch nicht's side that they did not do this spiral cave when they were up here before. So they did have to make this extra trip back up the mountain to do it. Now, looping in that Tempered Sword, definitely very nice. That's a big upgrade in offensive power. But yes, there was that hammer in Dark Basement also. So I'm trying to take stock here. Weirdly, that hammer gets us awfully close to go mode in the grand scheme of things. Let's see, we're going to need Eastern and Desert big keys. But we can beat Hera right now with Hera Pot. We're on our way to beat Helma. Skullwoods and Thievestown are clearable at the moment. And we already have the Mire big key, so there's actually not a whole lot left we're looking for. With Turtle Rock being a pendant, that really cuts down on the number of keys you have to find. That's one of the dungeons that requires the most keys in the game to beat, even if you're go-moding it. And I believe we saw Death King do a nice little mirror Super Bunny glitch. If you try to use the mirror on the same frame that you enter a Dark World location, you will get the Super Bunny state, and then you can still open chests in there, which I believe he did in the Mire Shed. And Death King headed back up the mountain as Shady is in this Helmasaur fight. Not the easiest on the equipment that we have, but... oh, very nice hammer hits there in Phase 2 of Helma. And there's crystal number 1 for the spoilers. Worth pointing out also that it's very convenient for the seed that Swamp is also a pendant. So it looks like our runners are going to be skipping flippers altogether. At least that would be my guess, since Shady went ahead into Ice without the flippers. And so if we don't need to go into Swamp, and those flippers are in an annoying place, that could be a pretty big time save. Ooh, Death King pulling the book off of Stumpy. Clearly not needed for desert access, so we might be headed toward a tablet of some kind. And there's Shady Force's Tempered Sword, so it looks like Shady's going to be putting off Tower of Hera until just before GT. I guess in my catalog of things we need for Go Mode, I should have included the GT Big Key as well. And Death King will go ahead and grab Butter Sword. It's not a huge upgrade on most boss fights, but when you're running low percent like this, it's very often a good idea to grab. Particularly if you're already in the area and it costs you about 2 extra seconds to grab it, it's definitely worth it. So DK did a little bit more of that overworld cleanup first, and is now going to get this pod big key out of the sewers, and then probably make the ice dip into the pod play. Alright, and since it's Ether Tablet that we need, we might also see Shady go ahead into Hera right now. Let's see what's on Ether. Of course, a big key, why not? So we had to dip Desert to get Moon Pearl to be able to get the book to be able to get the Desert Palace big key. Just a casual key sanity seed. And yeah, again, that little early mistake for Oops with not doing Spiral Cave right away meant their trip back up to Hera was not going to be as efficient as Shady's trip is going to be, so Shady definitely picking up a smidge more time there. And also we'll have an ever so slightly easier Moldorm fight, just taking 2 slashes instead of 1 spin and 1 slash. Oh, and there is a bow for Death King coming out of Hookshot Cave. And it looks like, yes, we'll be heading over to Ether Tablet as well. So I would say with the trip back up here needed for the Ether Tablet as well, it's probably better to pick up that bow. I don't know if just fake flippering into ice would have been faster for that bow in the abstract, but looks like Shady is also going to be grabbing the silver arrows then out of Hookshot Cave. Shady does still have both Vitreous and the Armos fight left that are made much easier by those silver arrows. The standard NMG strat for Vidi would be just as fast as silver arrows as long as you get it in 1 cycle. It's pretty much equivalent to each other, but we're going to have significantly lower health than you would in an NMG run when it comes to that Vidi fight, so silvers are going to definitely make that much, much safer. And yeah, looks like Shady is just looking for the Eastern and the GT big keys, but he's got several dungeons that he can full clear, several crystals he can full clear at this point. So looks like we're going to get Thieves Town and potentially Skull Woods together now. And yes, we see another fun feature of Spoiler Week, since everyone knows where everything is. Runners are free to stream snipe each other, to come to the restream and talk smack in chat, as Zelga has decided to do. And Shady not really picking up anything in Thieves Town so far, so doesn't seem to be anything of value here other than a crystal just yet. And you can tell on the spoilers side that they are practiced spoiler race runners, because the resisting the muscle memory to not open that chest in the attic is extremely difficult. As Death King grabbing his hammer. Also seems to be picking up some rupees. Not sure if that's for potions. I guess potentially Zora, as far as I know, but the fact that Shady has not been going out of the way to pick up rupees really suggests that Zora's not going to be a concern. I think Shady also had some spoilers on that Blind fight and knew exactly where Blind was going to go. But that's crystal number 3 on Shady's side. DK is just about to pick up his second. And I suspect we'll see him headed over toward Thieves Town and Skull Woods right after this. And Shady headed straight to the back. Ooh, unlucky. That's another death on DK's side. And I was just about to say, these runners are doing all of this on 6 hearts green mail, which is not easy to do. And on green mail, Helma does damage real fast. I believe pretty much everything in that fight will do 2 hearts of damage. Maybe the fireballs do 1. I don't remember, but that is Helma is the gatekeeper of a lot of NMG runs, and these runners are on less than NMG equipment right now. And another crystal for Shady. 2 absolute go mode dungeons finished in quick succession. I guess I should say our runners are on less than NMG health at the moment. Obviously, Buttersword is a big improvement over your NMG equipment, but that does not help in Phase 1 of the Helma fight. Yeah, normally you would have Sank Heart plus the 3 Light World Hearts, so you'd be at 7 hearts for this Helma fight. I know there are people who are much better than me at this game who will skip the Sank Heart, but... And there we go, that Buttersword paying off in Phase 2 of the Helma fight at least, as Death King gets his revenge there. And Shady going into Mire first. I believe this is necessary to preserve the spooky action glitch. I honestly forget which way it goes. It's either picking up a crystal or a pendant would reset that, so I think if you beat Desert, you have a risk of losing your spooky going into Mire, so doing Mire first is going to let us use that glitch in the basement. Oh, nice half magic as we hook shot across the bridge gap there. And also Shady showing us that with no boots, you can try and preserve your spooky with using a different item. He used Fire Rod. You can also use silver arrows, because that shimmeriness of the arrows will take up an Ancilla slot and preserve the spooky glitch. So nicely done there from Shady. Yeah, going to be headed into Vidi with not many hearts, so those silver arrows are definitely a welcome addition to this fight. And very clean Vidi fight as well. Pick up the swamp small key. Hopefully we're never going to need that. But once again, complete go mode for Misery Mire. Just getting that half magic and nothing else. Death King running through the same area. Looks like he did not go for that spooky glitch. Is just going to head up and hit the switch up here. Spooky, of course, doesn't save you as much time since you don't have to hit the switch in the previous room when you're go moding this dungeon. But Death King also didn't stop to grab that half magic, so he's just sort of going all out trying to save as much time as possible, not really going for any of those safeties. Ooh, but not having silvers is going to do a more NMG style fight and on extremely low health. So doing a nice job dodging those eyeballs, staying in the corner to also avoid the lightning, and I had to say it. Another unfortunate death there for DK. So Desert Palace is done now for Shady. So we are still looking for that Eastern Big Key. Oh my goodness, is it in Pyramid Fairy? Wow, what a dumb seed this is. At least we've beaten Aga already. If Pyramid Fairy has both big keys, I'm gonna lose my mind. Alright, just the one. So this has definitely been a fiddly seed. But it's actually not, I'm going to say not as bad as it could be for general key sanity seeds. Like I said, being able to ignore Turtle Rock completely from the looks of things and not have to collect all those keys, it's actually gone relatively quickly. It's really only the lack of boots that's slowed us down here, because Shady will be on the way to GT under 50 minutes. So Death King this time around doing a couple of spins through the eyes, NMG style, and then drank a blue potion to finish them off. Playing it safe with the health bar the second time through. So Death King doing the same. Meyer to Desert play. Unfortunately, still has the Thieves Town Skull Woods play left to do, so Shady is significantly ahead at this point. And does also have those silvers as an advantage, which will make very quick work of that Armos fight. So, 7th crystal for Shady. And no GT Big Key yet, so that makes me think it's going to be somewhere in the GT basement. But we'll see if we head straight back up the mountain. Looks that way. So I guess we can get an impromptu GT guessing game. If anyone wants to give a location, you have to give a location this time, since numbers are a lot less meaningful for spoiler seeds. I can't promise you any fake internet points if you guess right, but you will get my unending love and admiration, so that's something. And Death King now in the Go Mode Thieves Town Skull Woods portion of the run. And Shady is going right into Ganon's Tower. I guess there is always a chance that the key's not actually in GT. Maybe it's, you know, Boots locked somewhere in the seed and we have to get Boots and go back out. But more than likely it's just in the basement somewhere. Like right there. And Shady does have one GT small already, so can head right up, grab the other small from the Mini Helma room. We see nice adaptation in strats there. Shady preserving his health a bit more in that room than you normally would, since we're on 7 hearts still. Also, again, worth noting that Shady and Zelga can be watching their opponent and so have a sense of how far ahead they are, so Shady can definitely take that information into account and play a little bit more safely. Butter Sword does make things pretty nice through the gauntlet here. Somehow that first Fire Rod shot didn't hit the Stalfos. I didn't even know it was possible to miss that Stalfos with the splash damage, but apparently it is. Death King taking a slightly different approach to this blind fight than I'm used to. He's down to just 2 hearts now. Oh, and takes another death there. Yeah, just got out of the center of the room at the beginning, and so was not going to be following the usual script for that blind fight. So now we'll have to go back in and do this with blind reset and deal with all of that RNG. Shady will be able to refill at the top of the tower here with the magic powder. And Death King at a lot more health going into phase 3 of Blind. It has Blind in a nice position at the bottom of the screen. Oh, just could not get that last hit in. Boy, the boss fights have not been kind to Death King today. Pretty quick Aga 2 fight there from Shady. Gets through in 3 cycles. Ooh, really nice use of the sword beams this time around from Death King. And there we go, Blind finally falls. As Shady drops into this Ganon fight, and with Butter Sword and the Silvers, this should go pretty quickly. Sets up for potential triple here. Ooh, third arrow just didn't quite hit. But there is the fourth one. Get your GGs in chat for Shady Force and Zelga. And that's an official race time finishing time of 56 minutes and 42 seconds. Congrats to the spoilers. And we will see if Zelga and Shady want to come in for a quick chat. I know we've seen Zelga in chat for a little bit here. And Death King finishing up the Mothula fight there, and then will go ahead and forfeit after beating that 6th crystal. So GG's to Death King and his pilot Divasigns as well. This was definitely a tricky seed to route through. I think both pilots did really well getting through that, and Shady's execution, I think, was just too much today. A really nice run from Shady for the spoilers side. And it looks like we will get some of our runners up into chat here. And we will get their thoughts about this one. This was our first spoiler seed of the week. So if you would like to see more of the pilot spoiler races, keep your eyes on the League and the SpeedGaming networks. So there will be plenty more of these pilot races this week. Also, another time, good time to give a shout out to our tracker for today, Scott G239, and be sure to also give our runners and our tracker a follow as we are getting some of our runners and pilots into chat here. GG's, Shady and Zelga.
Yo, thanks.
Hey, GG's.
So it felt like both teams really found that, sniffed out the AGA right away, because pretty much your whole route at the beginning of the game was just focused on getting to AGA as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I was just talking to Shady about earlier. Like, I saw the Castle Tower key in the mushroom spot, and I thought he could skip it at first because the fire rod wasn't locked. But then, as I got a little bit further in and realized the chain of needing that hook shot from the pyramid to do everything, it quickly turned into a really terrible seed to get moving. But honestly, by the time we had the pearl, we kind of almost had everything figured out. It was just a really rough chain trying to piece it all together at the start where you need to go.
Yeah, that did work out pretty nicely that you could go back and get that second AGA small key when you were in the area to activate the flute, so that didn't really slow you down at all.
Yeah, I think if the flute hadn't been in Eastern, but like that was the whole reason I sent Shady to Eastern really early was for that flute. But yeah, it just worked out that we could kind of double back and get that Castle Tower key. That and trying to go to Hype K without the hammer, I think, were our two big kind of gaffes in this one. Otherwise, I think we played a really bad seed about as well as possible. I'm pretty happy with this.
Yeah, it sounds like it was really difficult to root at the start. I think Zelga honestly did a great job. And it kind of later on in the seed, he was basically taking a back seat, and it was just me beating all the crystals. The seed later on it was fine, just a tricky start.
We've also got Death King in chat with us. GG's to you as well.
GG's.
GG, Death King.
Yeah, it felt like the boss fights were just not particularly kind to you today.
Yeah. It didn't feel like my day. I mean, being pushed away by Helma and, Vitty with his eyes on me. It was kind of bad. But I also did mistakes, which costs time, like forgetting the glove on the mountain first. So I had to get back there. And all such small things.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate, because then when you went back up the mountain, it made sense to grab the bow there, so then you didn't get your second bow out of Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Things like that. That, yeah, kind of worked out, unfortunately, later on.
That's true. I also thought about, maybe we should route in the second bow, but I mean, we had the gold sword, so I didn't find it necessary. Normally, it wouldn't be a problem this way. Don't know what's up today.
Yeah, we talked for probably a good 3 or 4 minutes whether we were going to get the silvers before Maya or not. We just kind of decided there was basically no good safeties. Like Cape and Verna were both really deep. So we just felt like let's just get them while we're in the area. It'll probably save time, but yeah, we seriously considered skipping them as well.
I mean, I guess you with your Ice Palace bow at the beginning, it's it wouldn't be so much time lost to get the silvers at least before Ganon. So, and since you have to get on the mountain for Aoife anyway, well, no, not for Aoife, for the big key for desert, anyways. So it would have made sense before Maya too. So I guess.
Yeah, that was how it went. Shady grabbed the Ice Palace bow to do pod relatively early, and then picked up the second bow with Ether and the Hera trip. So,
yeah, definitely the better decision.
Also, just for fun, so chat knows, I checked the spoiler seed, and those flippers are actually on the Desert Palace torch behind the boots that are behind Ice Armos. So that was fun.
Yeah, and Cape is in Swamp. Berna is on the Lumberjack Ledge. Quake is at Hylia Island, which blocks both Armors and Turtle Rock. Like, there was just no safety you can get at all until you clear out GT.
Yes, especially, I guess it were 5 big heart containers in GT. So yeah, just take the half of my hearts away, no problem.
Yeah, there was a point where I was trying to find pieces of heart for Shady after I realized just how bad the heart containers were.
I have no idea if heart pieces laid so much better. At least a few, I guess, but if it's worth it, don't know.
Yeah, it's amazing how often in the spoiler seeds they're just heart containers all over Ganon's tower.
Yeah, we don't normally worry about heart pieces in this, but in this one, like Zelga identified fairly early that there just weren't that many around, so he managed to grab me 4 pieces as well, which is quite nice. Just to give that a little bit of extra safety. Make sure I don't have like a fairy revival in the gauntlet or anything.
Yeah, and at least the powder was available, so that's always helpful for the climb.
Yeah, it makes the back of Mire as well fairly safe because you can just powder up just before you go into the fight. So it is quite a good safety. Thankfully, I didn't need to use it too often in this run, but it's pretty good.
So yeah, any other final thoughts on this seed?
I'm glad we're behind it. This was absolutely terrible. I mean, it's fun from a spoiler perspective, but playing it out, I have a lot of respect for Shady and Death King and Divi for trying to go through this one. This was really rough. But yeah, GG's, and looking forward to the next race on Wednesday.
Yeah, let's see if I'm better as a pilot. I hope so, at least.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. The first 15-20 minutes as a pilot are incredibly frantic, and then you just put your feet up for the back half of the seed, so...
Yeah, we're swapping over, so I'm gonna be very... This is a lot more relaxing running than piloting, in my opinion. Because I don't have to think, I just have to play well. Do some tricky boss fights, but that's fine. Like it's something I practice. It's something I enjoy. But it's so stressful piloting, and in a way I'm looking forward to Wednesday, but in another way I'm not, because I don't want to mess up and skip any items.
It's alright. I mean, this is when you get your revenge and, just tell Zelga to go do some 3-heart boss fights.
Zelga's not getting those boots on Wednesday, I can assure you with that. Be careful in Link's house, I'm not telling him.
Well, yeah, GG's again, everyone. Thank you all for kicking off our week of spoiler pilot races. I think this gave us all a good sense of how fun and terrible they can be at the same time. So thanks, everybody, for a great race. And I think that is going to do it for us. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to stay tuned to SpeedGaming for all of your speed racing, speedrunning needs. In particular, more Link to the Past Rando League action. Like I said, we're going to have pilot spoiler races all this week. So come join us in the League Discord and give a follow to SpeedGaming 2 through 6, all of our runners, and our tracker as well. So yeah, I've been Cool Papa Bell 2282. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you back here next time.